Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. A very emotional episode of Monday Night Raw hit our screens this evening, full of twists and turns, and we are here to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Monday Night Raw review right here on Sledgehammer TV, home of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, do not forget tonight's review is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering a free 30-day trial and one free audiobook download to fans of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show just for trying out their service. Over 180,000 titles to choose from. All you have to do is go to audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv right now to sign up and get your free book, which you can keep even if you decide to cancel before your 30 days is up. That's audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv. Get there right now for your free audiobook download and 30-day free trial membership. You guys, tonight's Monday Night Raw. Tonight's Monday Night Raw is a turning point of sorts, and it's not really that positive. If I'm going to be honest with you, I want to be excited about Dean Ambrose's turn at the end of this show. I want to be excited about the turn of Elias in the middle of this show, but the whole entire show goes right to the beginning with the announcement, the historic announcement, and not historic for any good reason, but historic because it effectively changes the course of professional wrestling as we know it. Roman Reigns comes out and comes clean to the world, telling everybody that he's been battling leukemia throughout the majority of his life. Leukemia is a serious, career-threatening, life-threatening disease. This is not something that is to be joked around about. This is not something that is to be taken lightly. And I say these things to you because I see a lot of people on social media who are questioning the validity of everything that is going on with tonight's announcement with Roman Reigns. And I'm going to just say this, and by no means do I feel this way. I cannot believe for 1 minute that they would use such a thing as a storyline or as a way to finally get the crowd to give their approval of Roman Reigns. I cannot, as a human being, accept that these people in the WWE, as human beings as well, would do something so heinous as to use something so powerful as a life-threatening illness that people are throughout the world battling every single day to play with your emotional heartstrings and finally get you on the side of Roman Reigns. That is not at all what I believe happened. I believe what we were told is truth. I believe they brought this thing to light, and I think it would take the WWE a whole lot of effort to have to really put this over if it wasn't true. They'd have to be paying off doctors. They'd have to be doctoring up documents, faking all kinds of things, and you can't get away with shit anymore. Everything comes to light. There is no deceiving anybody anymore. The world is a very different place, and until something like that is brought to light, until it is concrete fact that is proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they planned this or they wrote this and that they're taking the stance of, well, we're a TV show, we're like a soap opera, we can write these things, it's fiction. If they come out and say that, then we're going to be all over them. But right now, tonight, that's not who we are here. You know that. We're not that show. We're not that kind of a fan base. We're not those people that are going to jump down and just immediately assume the worst when we are being faced with something as serious as Roman Reigns being afflicted once again with a disease he supposedly has battled once before. If the man was able to go through this and battle it out once before and come out the other side, I have faith that he will be able to do that again. My immediate thought, being a father, was immediately about his daughter. I know Roman Reigns has a daughter. My first thought was, Jesus Christ, this poor little girl is going to have to go through this with her dad. It's absolutely horrible. It's not something that we started this show to talk about. We want to talk about wrestling. But more often than not, real life rears its ugly head into professional wrestling, and it let this show have a very, very weird vibe throughout the rest of the night. I almost didn't really give a shit, and it's not because I'm a big, hoorah fan of Roman Reigns, but it's just a very deep thing. It's something that, as a fan, we've been watching this man for years. You have your opinion, whether you love him or you hate him. You have to see him as a human being. Tonight, he's just Joe. He's not Roman Reigns anymore. He's Joe to the rest of us. And it's horrible. It's horrible. And this is not the way we wanted to see this happen. There's no trumpets being blown. We don't got confetti and balloons blowing out all over the place because, Roman Reigns is finally not the champion. That's not what this is about anymore. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Is it going to do the show good? Probably. Because none of us were happy with the direction we were going with Roman Reigns on top. But this is not the way we wanted to see this come about. We wanted Vince McMahon to wake up and just right the ship. We didn't want the wrestling gods to have to dip their finger into the world and be like, nope, this is what's got to happen. I don't really know what else I can tell you guys as far as my feelings pertaining to the Roman Reigns situation. It's a touchy thing, and I have nothing but respect for the man right now. Not for his wrestling ability. I'm not going to sit here and be, falling back on everything I used to say. All my criticisms remain. Alright, it is not his fault that he was put in this spotlight, but it is the fault of the WWE, and now they have to deal with the ramifications of their actions, putting this man on top, and now having to face this situation, to which they come up with the laziest and most easy solution, which is simply just to remove Roman Reigns from the crown jewel situation by having him relinquish his title because his health will not allow him to be the fighting champion that he wanted to be. So Roman Reigns leaves us tonight. We don't know if we are going to see him again. I would like to think so. Not that I'm expecting his big comeback, but if it comes very quickly, it's going to smell even more fishy than that slight fishiness you might smell in the air, because I did think it. I thought for a minute, wow, do you think they would really do something like that? And then my heart and my gut says no, and my head says no. And when all those three things are in alignment, I have to go with my senses and say there's no way they would do something so stupid as to make such a big thing to get a man over. I doubt it. So let's just put the end to all of that right now. I think that's bullshit. If you believe that that the WWE is telling you a lie right now, that's bullshit. It's absolutely got to be true. And as soon as it's proven otherwise, I'll be here to let you know, and I will eat my hat. All right? But until then, I ain't eating anything except a bunch of shit that I had to eat watching the rest of the show, because Monday Night Raw was still Monday Night Raw, you guys. We had an epic announcement to start the show that seemingly was going to put the show on a whole new direction. But it really didn't now, did it? If we really take a look at the show, what did everything do? It did exactly what it did last week. Nothing. It didn't do anything. You want to tell me, but we had the heel turn, Mr. Nightmare, Dean Ambrose, everybody wanted it, but they ruined it. Sure, it really came out of nowhere. Nobody expected it because of the levity of this evening. Nobody expected Roman Reigns' two best friends to turn on each other by the end of the night, coming off the heels of what he had to say and the Shield brotherhood solidarity with the tears at the beginning of the night. But that's exactly what happened at the end of the show. You didn't expect it, and it happened, but you should have expected it. You should have expected it because they've been talking about it week after week after week, the same story. Now imagine if this happened tonight and they hadn't teased any of this Dean Ambrose stuff over the last couple of weeks. That would have been true shock and awe. But as exciting as it might have been, and, you know, it did make me, as I was sitting on my couch, be like, oh, what? We're doing this now? Okay. It gave me like a mixed feeling. I don't know why they would want to make the crowd go home in such a confused state. You started the show with this weird announcement, now you ended the show with this turn on a night where maybe this turn shouldn't have happened. Really? I mean, in true WWE fashion, they're going to do everything ass backwards. And, you know, you should have had this turn happen a couple of weeks back out of the blue. You shouldn't have been teasing it. And now that it actually came, I mean, tonight maybe wasn't the best night to do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if you agree with that or if you don't, because I just feel like tonight might not have been the night to pull the trigger on the Dean Ambrose thing. Maybe next week would have been better. Let them celebrate winning the tag team champions. You let the crowd be happy, cheery, and let everybody go home on a positive note. But that's not what happened here. Maybe it is for the best. It does lend for a more intriguing finish to the show. It leads you to want to see what's going to happen next week. I guess maybe a little bit more than the standard ending would have done so. But not in all that surprised. So there's that. That's just how I feel about it. You let me know if you felt like so shocked and amazed at something we all pretty much knew was coming, and the WWE handed us on a silver platter and said, here you go, boys, we're gonna have Dean Ambrose turn on the Shield. They didn't know this was gonna happen, and I doubt the plan was to pull the trigger on it tonight if Roman Reigns didn't go down on this evening. The same can be said for Elias. I do not fully believe Elias would have been turned into a babyface tonight if the plans were not changed due to the circumstances of Roman. For what reason does the WWE suddenly give a shit about Elias? And for what reason did he go out there and have a match with Apollo Crews, squash Apollo Crews in a 7-minute matchup, get a victory over him, only to come out and turn babyface literally 5 minutes later? That didn't make sense to me. Did I enjoy Elias turning babyface? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to be better for his career right now? Hands down. His heel gimmick was going absolutely nowhere. It was stuck in a repetitive, just absolute downward spiral of nothingness. And now it can be refreshed a little bit. He can play with the crowd. He can have fun with the crowd. Maybe the songs can actually get sung because somebody won't be interrupting him every 5 minutes. It's going to be an interesting road to go down with Elias from this moment on. I just don't understand why they had to make Apollo Crews look like a piece of shit. They finally wanted to let us know that he's not part of Titus Worldwide. We didn't have a segment. We didn't see them split up, but we had Corey Graves and Michael Cole let us know tonight that he's doing his own thing on his own. He is no longer part of Titus Worldwide. Good. So I assume that since Dana Brooke left and Apollo Crews now has left, that Titus Worldwide is not even a thing anymore, which is always a very big positive. That's a plus. If that's really going to be the case. I don't want to see a new version of Titus Worldwide. I didn't want to see Titus O'Neil at all tonight. We'll talk about that in a second too. But this show started off really with Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. Did you give a shit about this one? Because I certainly didn't give a shit about this match at all. You had Finn Balor come away with the win at the end of this thing. They wrestled for about 9 minutes, and it went really absolutely nowhere. Watching Bobby Lashley wrestle, even the guy the caliber of a Finn Balor, is about as entertaining as watching grass grow outside. And it's the fall right now, so if you want to go sit outside, you can watch the leaves turning color. You can watch them falling from the trees to the floor, and it'll give you much more enjoyment than watching Bobby fucking Lashley wrestle in the ring. I guarantee you that much. Finn Balor did the best he could, but Finn Balor now served himself up tonight to end up being fed to Bobby Lashley because he got the surprise roll-up victory. Bobby Lashley gets Finn Balor up, getting ready to splash him with a Dominator. Finn Balor rolls out of it and gets the quick win. The whole time we got to hear Lio Rush, ha ha, my man, Bobby Lashley, ha ha, yeah, my man, the Iron Man, the only man, the smelling man. I don't care, man. You want to know what? That man. I don't care, man. I don't care. You know what I would have loved to have seen? I would have liked to have seen Lio Rush get in the ring versus Finn Balor. You want an entertaining wrestling match? Lio Rush versus Finn Balor would have knocked your fucking socks right off of your feet. But no, what do we get? We get boring, trashly Bobby Lashley. And one of probably the best wrestler at the ring is outside. Ha ha! Talking like this and going, now come on, Bobby. You got it, Bobby. You got the muscles and the massiveness and the action and the ass and the this and the that. And you smell good and you taste great and your sweat looks great and your headband looks great and blah, blah. Shut up, Lio Rush. Just shut up, bro. There's a line that you don't cross, and I just feel like he's crossing it on a weekly basis. I don't mind it when he's coming out and he's talking up his client the way Paul Heyman would do, and of course he's gonna talk up his client, right? But once the match starts and the bell rings, I don't need to hear Lio Rush anymore. The only way you could make watching Bobby Lashley even worse for me is to have Lio Rush like a mosquito constantly buzzing in my ear that I can't squash. Not fun for me. I'm sure it wasn't fun for you. Definitely wasn't fun for Finn. I'll tell you that much. Moving on. Baron Corbin says he's been on the phone, or the announcers say rather, Baron Corbin's been on the phone with Stephanie McMahon. They're going to talk about how to address the vacant Universal title situation. I already told you what they're going to do. They, as of right now, are going with just Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel, which is apparently happening in the middle of nowhere somewhere, because I don't think it's happening in Saudi Arabia anymore. They're not announcing it, but there's nowhere that this event is actually being held listed on the WWE website. So it's now a phantom pay-per-view with no known location. Maybe it's happening from parts unknown, but it's going down. We had Ruby Riot with the Smurf Blower and the Lady Viking Strowman Girl, Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan, respectively, going up against Sasha Banks with her buddies Natty and Bailey. Oh, the Boston connection has a new friend, Natty, the crazy cat lady. That's what we need. We need another trio. We need more 6-on-6 scenarios, even though the matchup was only 1-on-1. Interestingly enough, those of you who follow me on Twitter, which if you're not, I don't know what you're waiting for, check me down at Twitter, at Nick Nightmare is the handle. I tweeted earlier this afternoon when the WWE made the announcement that they were going to have on Raw this evening a 6-woman tag team matchup featuring the same 6 women we are talking about right now. And then we come to Monday Night Raw and it has been changed. I tweeted, I said, is there anything else at all you could possibly do with anybody on Monday Night Raw besides a 6-person tag tonight? Just a little teeny tiny little bit of effort is all you need. Just like this much effort, and the show maybe won't suck so bad. And apparently somebody read my tweet because they tweaked the match and they put a little bit of effort in, and we got Sasha Banks versus Ruby Riot, which, yes, we have seen before, but we also know this is going to be probably one of the better matches they can give us in all of the women's division, but they decided to make me, sitting at home, watch commercials instead. Because I didn't see most of this matchup. This match was listed at almost 10 minutes, and I think we must have seen maybe about 4, and most of that was just for the outside brawl and anything that had to do with little Pink Morgan and this one and that one on the outside, so that the distraction could be happening, so that Ruby Riot could land the Riot kick to the face of Sasha Banks, who took it very poorly and didn't sell it very well. She went down in the opposite direction of the strike, which is not something that you would do. It would be like me getting smacked in the face this way and not going this way. I would go this way. And it just, that's wrong. Right? No, that's wrong. No, this way. Oh, that's better. That looked more convincing and real. Sasha Banks went down in the opposite direction. I don't know if it was just a miscommunication or the fact that maybe Sasha Banks really doesn't give a shit to be there. You know, she's happy to be back. She's going to make a statement, and then she goes out there and has to lose to Ruby Riot. She's not really being featured in a dominant match at this Evolution pay-per-view, which is an absolute sham, which is nothing but a fucking disgrace to the entirety of the women's division. We will talk about that in our Evolution pre-show, which is going to come to you guys this weekend. Don't forget to keep your eyes out for it. But this match didn't really matter, because we're going to get to see it again at Evolution. 6-woman tag. The Riot Squad versus Sasha, Bayley, Natty. Talk about uninspired, unoriginal, and repetitive. But it's an Evolution, right? Wrong. You know what else was wrong? This fucking promo that we had to sit through from DX. Triple H is one of my favorite guys. You guys that have been watching the channel, you know that every time he's even come out, I don't agree with him being in the feud with The Undertaker going into Super Showdown, but he was giving us some of the best promos and some of the best TV that we were able to see. He was putting the young roster to shame. It was a terrible thing to see. Actually, as much as I enjoyed it, I didn't like seeing the veterans come out and showing the new school how it's done. But on this night, they showed the new school how not to do things. What did they say that was so fucking interesting? They didn't say anything at all. You know what they did? They came out, they said, "We run shit." Right? Anything with an X, we run. We've been running shit with DX for 20 years. We got a new X. Referencing NXT. I'm sure Vince was happy about that as the crowd started to chant for NXT. And Shawn Michaels was happy to oblige. We run that shit too, you guys. We're running the wrestling business. And then Triple H wants to tell everybody to go out and see Halloween. So that's what we got to see. We got an inadvertent promo for the newest, hottest movie in America right now. And we got, oh, by the way, NXT is better than this shit. That was the purpose of this promo? Or what? Because you couldn't think of anything else to say before we had to see another pre-recorded 1985-inspired Undertaker and Kane promo, which I don't understand, not for 1 minute, why Kane is even opening his mouth. It's bad enough that he's there, but if you want to talk about Robo, right? We had Robo Kane on this show. Just reading his lines, like a mayor would read a teleprompter, and not saying anything with emotion. Remember when Kane actually had fire in his eyes? He's probably got fire in his ass right now, and he just wants to go take a shit. Maybe wipe it with a baby wipe or something to cool it down, because he's definitely not feeling the scene. Something's gotta be bothering Kane. Maybe his mask is on too tight. Maybe he wants to lick the fucking strawberry coating off of the fruit roll-up that's on his face. I don't know what he was thinking while he was reading these lines. Because if you want to talk B-movie bad, you just got to look at Kane. Terrible. All for them to say nothing. Standing there with two graves. One for Shawn, one for Triple H. Both with their actual birthdays on them. And their end day being the date of the crown jewel. Who really cares anymore? What is the meaning of all of this? Is it going to have any sort of a ramification to the world of professional wrestling in 2018? No. Is it going to be an entertaining match? Probably. Is it going to be given too much time? Definitely. Look at all the time it was given on this night. Nothing but a waste of our time. Nothing we haven't seen or heard them say already. Absolutely worthless. This was all just very stupid. Very stupid. They wanted to come back after this and re-depress us by showing us the Roman Reigns promo again, in case you weren't here at the start of the show, which I hate that they do that, but it is something that WWE does quite often. We have the announcement that Strowman will face Brock Lesnar for the vacant Universal title at Crown Jewel. Then we had Dana Brooke coming out with her fucking dick lips saying, I meant to say duck lips. I don't know why dick lips came out, but we'll go with that. We'll go with that one too. She's somebody's pair of dick lips. But anyway, she had to say that she was going to prove to the world that she's not a sausage factory and that she's going to be whatever. Who cares? Who cares what the fuck Dana Brooke or Nia Jax or even Ember Moon has to say about a fucking battle royal that is a slap in the face to everything the women have actually already been doing. We'll get to that in a minute as well. We had Paul Heyman coming out here tonight, and he wanted to continue on the Roman bandwagon. He wanted to make us all sad. He had his eyes all watery, and he wanted to tell everybody why we should be sad about Roman Reigns and tell all the little kids that this is an epic moment of sacrifice, and Roman Reigns sacrificed this and that. And the more this kind of stuff was happening on the show, the more that weird thought kept creeping in the back of my mind. Like, there is so much of this leukemia thing written into tonight's show that it's starting to feel a little suspicious. But I kept batting it away. I took the sledgehammer right to it, and I got out of my head because I just can't believe that to be true. No matter how much I felt it every here and there. And the Paul Heyman promo was just sending my spider senses tingling in a million directions. The only part of this thing that mattered was when he turned his attention to Braun Strowman, saying that Braun Strowman calls himself a monster, but Brock Lesnar doesn't just call himself a beast, he actually is a beast. He then warns Braun Strowman that he isn't in Brock Lesnar's league and that they're not even in the same species. When Braun Strowman decides to come out, interrupts Paul Heyman, told him that he should warn Brock Lesnar that he's going to get his ass beat and he's going to get these hands. And then even Braun was like, and when Roman comes back, he's going to be first in line because I'm going to be the Universal Champion from now on. Okay, sure. And that's how that ended, and nobody really cares. Until Drew McIntyre came out, interrupted the whole festivities, hit the big man with the Claymore kick, as he told Dolph Ziggler earlier in the evening he would take care of Braun Strowman because he was going monster hunting, and he apparently did just that. It was a pretty good finish to what was a very, very weird Paul Heyman segment, but I didn't really care too much about what he had to say. The money is in Drew McIntyre. Now, if you want to take Drew McIntyre and put him in place of Roman Reigns for this Crown Jewel Championship matchup for the Raw title, now you have my attention. Because I would love to see Drew McIntyre in the ring with a Brock Lesnar. I would love to see what him and Braun Strowman can do, and I would love if the Universal Championship program from this moment on is going to be contested between Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre. Two near, if not already 7 feet tall, absolute genetic freak machine monster men that can go at it. Drew McIntyre, one of the best in the business, and this is the turning point in his career. If he gets put on this pedestal opposite Braun Strowman, this is his time to shine, and I expect him to fully do so. And I hope that that is the direction in which the WWE is looking to take this thing. It definitely looks like those are the tiptoes that we're going in, so I will take it. I like that, but that has not been officially announced, and if it's not, it's a missed opportunity by the WWE to get Drew McIntyre where he needs to be and away from Dolph Ziggler. We talked about Elias defeating Apollo Crews, and then he would turn by attacking Baron Corbin with his guitar. Like I said, I enjoyed the turn, and I think it's going to do wonders for Elias going down the road in the future. He called Baron Corbin a puppet with Stephanie McMahon's hand up his ass before Baron Corbin cut his microphone, had the guys in the back cut the guitar feed, and then he was going to announce anything else he was going to do for the rest of the show when Elias would come out of nowhere and bash him right in the back of the head, splintering that guitar into a bazillion pieces, which hurts my heart as a guitar player, but is always fun to see when I'm watching professional wrestling, and the Elias turn appears to be in full effect, if not 100% complete, and we'll have to see where they go down the road. His first opponent, most likely, going to be Baron Corbin, I would assume, or, which would be more interesting, is if Corbin continuously starts to get in the craw of Elias and starts giving him matchups with crazy, stipulations against a bunch of random people every week, somebody new, and really get Elias over as an anti-establishment figure. I think that would be a fun road to go down. We had a pre-taped promotional segment for this World Cup disaster by Kurt Angle. And we're going to go back to that Robo analogy because we had Robo Kane and now we had Robo Kurt. This guy had so much charisma and acting ability back in his day that I cannot believe that this guy can't deliver simple promotional material. Why do you have to have everybody reading? Why can't you have Kurt Angle just stand there and be like, hey, listen, Kurt, all right, you got to talk about Seth, you got to talk about Cena, you got to talk about Mysterio, you got to just tell us a little something. Do it. Go. Action. Go. You don't think he could do it? I mean, maybe he can't. It's not that he's been the greatest on the mic, that I have full confidence in his ability, but they do it to everybody. Even Seth Rollins on this night was reading promotional stuff or reading copy script about his feelings for Roman Reigns, which was clear as day. Absolutely clear as day. Looking down on the floor during his promo. Kurt Angle deadlocked on whatever it was he was reading in front of him. Everything he said about everybody was just such a bullshit line. It just did not feel like Kurt Angle was saying these things. It felt like Kurt Angle, the GM, was reading the match card for the World Cup. Or giving you the competitors list. Nothing genuine in it at all. Come on, you gotta try at least a little. Feign a little excitement. Literally standing there talking like this about the World Cup and how John Cena is one of the best he's ever faced. Rey Mysterio was one of the best in the world, and at WrestleMania he showed me I shouldn't underestimate him. Where's the oomph? Where's the chutzpah? Where's the Olympic champion? What's wrong with him? If this is what he's going to bring to the dance, just send the man home. It's not worth it. Just like the Women's Championship contract signing. Definitely not worth it. What was this made just so that Nikki Bella could come out there and say some shit as a retort to Ronda Rousey's burial of her from last week? You think this segment was any better than what we saw last week? Last week, Ronda Rousey absolutely trashed Nikki Bella with her words. This week, Nikki Bella tried as she might to deliver whatever it is she wrote and tried to say how Ronda's mommy is ashamed of her. The only person that should be ashamed is the person that wrote this fucking promo for Nikki Bella to make her sound like a whiny, pathetic bitch and absolutely get me even less interested in anything that's going on. And then Nikki Bella slaps the baddest woman on the planet across the face and she smiles and says, I'm going to end you, and walks out of the ring. That's what you got. That's the best you got. It's the first time a contract signing has gone down without the table getting all thrown around and beat up and bashed into a billion pieces. Nikki Bella was trying to be painted out to look like some real mean queen. And I ain't buying. That was bullshit. That whole segment was bullshit. And it was a waste of everybody's time. The most uneventful, unimpactful contract signing I have ever seen in history, leading us to a pay-per-view that we can say the very same things. We could use the exact same descriptive traits and it would be appropriate for the Evolution pay-per-view. Absolute fucking nonsense. More nonsense came to us as we had a fatal 4-way for the women's division. This is the best they got to get you guys interested in a first time ever women's only pay-per-view battle royal. You give a shit about this battle royal? I don't. I don't think half the girls in it do. Half of those girls are just showing up for a nice little chunk of change to be put in their back pocket before they go back home to retirement. Absolute trash. And then you got Ember Moon in the ring with Tamina, Dana Brooke, and Nia Jax. The same foursome we saw in the ring last week. But instead of it being 2 tag teams, it's a fatal 4-way. And we have Ember Moon getting the win on Tamina, hitting her with an eclipse and getting the pin in under 2 minutes. This is what's important. This is evolution. 2-minute fatal 4-ways. Women's evolution. You got Tessa Blanchard and Mercedes Martinez on the Independents putting on the longest ever women's championship matchup at 75 fucking minutes long. Mercedes Martinez wins the women's championship of Rise from Tessa Blanchard, making history. And then you go to Monday Night Raw. You get 4 women, 2 minutes. But it's an evolution. Tessa Blanchard, Mercedes Martinez, 2 women the WWE had in the palm of their hands. And 2 women that were smart enough to say, no fucking thank you. We're going to go and actually wrestle somewhere else. Because we don't want to be in fatal 4-ways that are going to take 2 fucking minutes long. Leading up to an Evolution pay-per-view that's supposed to be all about the girls. Tell me I'm wrong. Because if you do, you're the one that's wrong. And you know it. Titus O'Neil and the breast cancer survivors, kudos to them, but this was given way too much time on this show. I do not understand why they can't have these girls, right, sit in the studio, nice, under the lights, make them look all pretty, give them the belt, their pink cancer belt, put it on the shoulder, right, and talk to them 10 seconds, 15 seconds, maybe tonight, every time we come back from commercial, we see, oh, and now we'll see Nancy, whatever her name was, and I mean no disrespect to anybody, so everybody calm down, but, you know, I think that would have been a better use of our time and a better way to promote their Susan G. Komen agenda by giving us these little bits. Give it to us in little bits. Showcase each woman individually, not in this big group, which takes about 15 minutes of airtime because Titus O'Neil is a goofball that don't even know how to speak the English language. These girls deserve better than Titus O'Neil and guys like The Big Show as their spokesperson. I don't understand why so much time was given in this manner. You want to highlight it correctly, do it the way I said. That would be so much better. And I think it would be more respectful to the women at hand. And then after it all, you could show them all sitting ringside, all happy, and here they are, the 6 women. Now they've been on TV and brought into the consciousness, and you've pushed your agenda, 6 separate times on this one evening. Each woman feeling super special. Highlighted. Survivor. Not the way they do it. The way they do it just seems pompous and arrogant and more like a look at us. Look at what we did for these 6 women and Susan G. Komen. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be about them. It should be about the women. But it's not. It's just another WWE fluff piece that takes up way too much time and is not placed in the proper position of the show. Backstage, we got Lita and Trish Stratus, or the woman who thinks she looks like Trish Stratus, the doppelganger of Trish Stratus. Backstage, cutting a promo for Evolution when the Jolly Giant, Alicia Fox. When did Alicia Fox turn into the Jolly Green Giant? She came walking into the frame like a goddamn 12-foot monster. You got Trish and Lita and Charlie Caruso. Charlie Caruso looked like a midget in comparison. Got RuPaul coming in on the screen. Whoa! What the hell is this? Oh, it's Alicia Fox. I thought it was RuPaul. What the hell? How did she get so tall from last week? She took the heels off at the end of the segment. She was still 9 feet tall. I don't know how that happened. Would she have her knees enlarged? Her legs elongated? Holy shit. But this was all for nothing. This all just broke up into a brawl. Mickie James would attack from out of nowhere. Alicia Fox is falling and fumbling all over everybody in the backstage like the piece of trash that she is. She can't even get her own feet underneath her. I felt like I was watching the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz. Jolly Green Giant Scarecrow woman. Awful. Awful way to use Trish Stratus and Lita. And Alexa Bliss, the biggest star in the whole scenario, wasn't there. She wasn't on Raw at all. Just like the Authors of Pain, nowhere to be found tonight. Alexa Bliss continuing to prove why she's one of the worst the WWE has on the roster. What was so important that she couldn't show up on Raw tonight? Maybe she don't give a shit about Evolution either. Maybe she knows how much of a bullshit scam the whole pay-per-view has become. After this, we had the end of the night. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins defeating Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre to win the Raw Tag Team Championships. Almost 20 minutes given to this matchup, but that's not the story. The Tag Team Championships are not the story. The story here is A, Braun Strowman coming out and being the reason why the titles would come to a change, as he would chase Drew McIntyre away from the ring, leaving Dolph Ziggler alone to defend the championships, and he would not be able to do so, suffering the effects of a curb stomp and losing the championships. And the other story, as you all already know, is the Dean Ambrose turn on Seth Rollins, which everybody already knew was coming, and sure, nobody expected it tonight because of all the tears and the sadness of the Roman scenario, but I maintain my original thought. If they did not sit there and tug and pull at it for the last couple of weeks, tonight would have been epic. Tonight would have been amazing. And I did enjoy it, but it would have been made much better by leaving that tiny little element of surprise. But I just believe that they had no plan at all. There was no direction with this feud. They didn't know what they were doing. And that comes across every single week you watch this show. I might be alone on my own island in that analysis of what happened at the end of the show. I might be the one lone guy that really doesn't give a shit that this finally happened. And I just hope that they do something interesting with it from this moment on. I'm much more concerned with the Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre angle and hope that what we saw at the end of this night is leaving the door open to have Drew McIntyre inserted into the championship matchup at Crown Jewel before we get to it. The rest of this show, you want to talk about a build for Evolution? There was no fucking build for Evolution. Evolution hasn't even been built at all. These matches were just thrown together. Nothing was built. It was thrown together. Like a last-minute potluck friggin' dinner meal. Oh, what do we got in the fridge? We got some frankfurters, we got some beans, we got some eggs, we got some all right, throw it all in the pot, see how it comes. We're gonna eat it. That's Evolution. A big mishmash fucking potluck dinner. Hopefully you find something you like. It's probably gonna come in the form of NXT. The NXT Women's Championship, the NXT UK Women's Championship, which they haven't announced yet. I've heard is going to be on the show, and we'll probably know this Wednesday as NXT UK comes to us at 3 p.m. this Wednesday. Those are going to be your two best matches. And then the Mae Young Classic Finals. After that, you could turn this show off, because Evolution is a waste of time. It should be called WWE Regression. We're bringing back all the divas and all these women that nobody gives a shit about anymore, that nobody gave a shit about back then. The women that shouldn't be being celebrated, they should be being forgotten. Like Kelly, Tori Wilson. Paper dolls that were pinned up on walls to do this to. not to watch wrestle, because none of them could wrestle worth a lick. And some of them just don't need to be around anymore. Molly Holly, really? We're going to see you again in a Battle Royal again. Like the Royal Rumble meant nothing. And now we're going to have this Battle Royals winner get a championship opportunity. So we're essentially redoing the Women's Royal Rumble for Evolution. Fantastic. Great job. Do you know how many great matchups are being wasted in that fucking Battle Royal? But they have zero creativity. And they didn't even try. I could take 3 seconds and come up with a freaking card 3 times as better. 3 times better than what they can come up with. I guarantee you that much. And I just might do that for the preview and predictions of this absolutely worthless WWE Evolution coming at you guys this Sunday. Don't forget to also be here tomorrow night for our SmackDown live review. We're going to see what SmackDown brings to the dance on this very, very weird week in wrestling history that will be by the time all is said and done. Don't forget to also be here Wednesday, the biggest day in pro wrestling, as we have the UK NXT show, which I might be doing live. Once again, the whole entire thing with my own commentary. I need you guys to let me know if you'll be into that, so make sure you let me know in the commentary section down below so that I can continue to bring you guys that style of show. Or if you just want me to do a review and not give you guys my live action commentary, let me know that too. I need to know what you guys like in order to continue to give you the best show possible that we can bring you guys here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, just like we do for the Mae Young Classic. These semifinals are coming at us, and we are finally going to see who is going to go to Evolution to go at it for the Mae Young Classic trophy for 2018. My 2 favorite shows right now, NXT UK and the Mae Young Classic. I have been watching regular NXT. We don't cover it that much on the channel, and you guys don't really ask for it, so I'm not going to do that unless you ask for it. So make sure you let me know everything you'd like to hear from me down in the comments section below. Thank you guys all so much. Don't forget to let me know what you thought about tonight's Raw and about tonight's Raw review. I always look forward to hearing from each and every one of my fans, so make sure you do that for me. Just like you need to hit that like button right now. Smash it with your sledgehammers at home. Make sure you let me know that you enjoyed today's show by hitting it and lighting it up bright blue. Then make sure you are subscribed to this channel, as we are on that march to 1,000 subscribers, and then we are going to go way beyond that, but we got to hit that 1K first. We are almost at 900, and it's going to start with you. If you are still here with me at 47 minutes during this Raw review and you had a great time, you got to hit that subscribe button right now. Become one of the hundreds that already know that Sledgehammer TV is the place to be, and the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show is your source for the absolute most fun, most honest, most hard-hitting shots in all of professional wrestling podcasting, and I am going to be the one to bring it to you. And then share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world so that they too can continue to help us grow to take over the world and become the best podcast in all the world. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is my team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the wrestling god of thunder, and the official sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. And his tag team partner, the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the Snowball Microphone. We are so pleased to be with you each and every week. Thank you guys for coming out and showing your support. As always, don't forget to check out that Audible trial, audibletrial.com/SledgehammerTV. One free book, man. You get a free book you can listen to. Pick whatever fucking book you want, and then let me know which one you picked. Maybe I'll go pick it myself from my Audible subscription. How about them apples, huh? Thank you guys all so very much. We will see you guys all week long for the best in all of professional wrestling coverage right here on Sledgehammer TV. That is going to do it, and we are out of here. And we will see you next time right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.